Hello everyone. Don't mind the raspy voice and the cough. I'm a little bit ill. I know I haven't uploaded a video in quite a minute. I'm not really sure how where I want to go with my YouTube channel. I don't know if I want to pursue it in the long term, but I watched the video and then it basically motivated me to make another video. So I'm just gonna continue on with this video. And I just wanted to talk about my experience presented my art at Comic Con. It was about 2 months ago, in the UK, and Anime League Comic Con in February in Birmingham, which was pretty far from where I live. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about it, how it went, how I felt before, after, and during. So yeah, it was the first con I've ever done. I've always wanted to do one because every time I went to a Comic Con, the first thing I'd always think is like I should be presenting my art there, instead of going there and trying to make networks with other artists. I always, I was always thinking about this. It's like I'm talking to other artists there about art and stuff, and like showing my work to them for like networking or whatever. But I kind of had this thought. I was like, it's not about me. They're the ones presenting their art. It's not about me trying to make contacts with other artists. It's about them. They paid for the table. They put in the effort to present their work, and I'm just coming here with a cheap ticket, and it just felt a bit off. So I'd finally decided to muster up the courage to actually present my art at a Comic Con, and the preparation was relatively. It was a bit expensive, I'll be honest, because I had to prepare all the prints and stickers, and I only had about 10 or 12 prints to actually present at the Comic Con. And stickers, I had three different designs. I had the Demon Slayer ones, Zenitsu, Nezuko, and Tanjiro. I wanted to do more stickers, but I didn't really have time and I didn't really have the effort. Now I have one extra sticker design, which is the Lady Milena Chibi from Elden Ring. I might do more in the future, but at the moment I'm more just focused on creating artworks, from my style and my characters and my world. Or well, we'll see. But so getting all that prepared was a bit of a pain in the ass. I'll be honest, a bit of a pain in the ass. It was more pain in the ass for my bank account, which kind of took a big hit, and I'm still sort of like struggling to build it back up. So the table itself was about I think it was about 180 quid. It was about 160 to 180, which I thought was quite a lot, but apparently that's nowadays when it comes to buying tables for cons, that's like a decent price you can get. The MCM in London is like 2 grand or something, so it's I'm not gonna get any better than this. And obviously, so once I got the table set up, I did some practice on the table set up at home just to see the best way to present it. And I had like these fake plants. I had candles which I was thinking of lighting up, but then I thought, there's all this paper around, like who knows if the paper catches onto one of the candles and just all of a sudden you see the whole con just on fire because of me. Like that would be an awkward situation. So I just thought that best to leave that out. And so yeah, the table setup was. I didn't really have the best table setup. I'll be honest. It was my first one. I didn't have all those like wire grids that everyone really uses at the Comic Con, or the wire cue boxes. I do have the boxes now. I ordered them off Shein. I think Shein or Temu. They're relatively cheap on there, cheaper than you can get them on Amazon. So I made sure to buy those, only because someone who was presenting next to me in the con was using them in a very good way. And I didn't really want to get him at first because I had no idea how to put it on the table. I didn't know how to make it look better, or how I could actually utilize a wire box to present my art. But after going to the con and seeing how everyone else has presented their artwork, I was like, oh, okay, that that makes sense. It's a lot simpler than I thought it'd be. And then obviously, I wanted to make with the fake plants. I wanted to sort of make it match the theme of my artwork. Very spiritual, nature-driven art, elemental. All that kind of stuff. You can kind of just tell by looking at my art anyway. And yeah, so luckily for me, right, the two people I was actually next to in the con, they were they were very helpful. They were amazing, lovely people. The the ones that were around me were they were making like a decent amount of sales. They've clearly been doing it for a while and they know what they're doing. And um, I kind of just like I wasn't really disheartened. The first day, the Comic Con, it went surprisingly well, despite how stressed I was the night before, and I couldn't really sleep because I was just stressed. I've never done anything like this before. Really just went out of my own way to go to Birmingham. By the way, I had to. That's a whole nother story. So I had to obviously drive to Birmingham from around London. I'm not going to say where I live, but it's around London. It's about a 2 hour drive. And before that 2 hour drive, I had to, make sure my car was actually, you know, in good shape because it's a 2 hour drive. You have no idea what could happen in those 2 hours. But so I had to pay about about £400 in repairs, in service repairs and everything. There was a lot wrong with the car, so that was another, a big hit into my bank account. Then you put 200 on the table, and then about like probably around 200 again for buying all the prints, and then all the other stuff that was needed for the actual table, like the the cloaks, I don't know what they call it, man. They just put it over the table. I forgot what they call it. Tablecloth, yeah, that's what it was. So just all these like small stuff, and it just builds up on Amazon. Or like my big mistake, I'll be honest, was I should have been using Shein to buy all that stuff. I didn't realize how good Shein was until recently. So yeah, so the drive to Birmingham, and then yeah, let's not forget about the hotel as well. I had to pay about £90 for the hotel, which is a good price, a very good price. I wanted to stick to something quite cheap. It was relatively, it was kind of not too far from the actual con. It was about a 5 or 6 mile drive, so it was about 10-15 minute drive. But it was just putting everything together. Like this is something I had to really just do on my own accord. I did everything myself, driving to Birmingham, driving there, preparing my table. I had some help with preparing the table. They let me, the people around me, who I will link in the bio, help, let me borrow some table decoration stuff. One of them gave me like this slab of cut wood, which really looked amazing, for my actual, the theme of my table with the whole nature thing going on. It looked perfect, and I obviously he didn't let me have it, but I I saw some on Amazon for relatively cheap, so I'm definitely gonna buy something like that. But yeah, so the the finance stuff that was the main stuff that, because I wasn't really expecting to make even or make profit with my actual art. I wasn't really expecting it to make a profit, because most people's first cons, they never really tend to make profit. But I made a decent amount. I made about I'll say about 90 to 100 quid, which is honestly not too bad. It doesn't pay for the table or the hotel, but it's better than what I thought it would honestly be. I kind of just did the con for the experience, and I do plan on doing more. And I got another one coming up, which I'll talk about in a bit. It was mainly the artworks that was selling. It was none of my original stuff, which then again expected. It was always more of the Dark Souls and the From Software. I have the Lady Maria pin. I have the Knight Artorias and Sith one. I had another Dark Souls print that was doing relatively well. It was like the Painterly one, and yeah. So I guess what I took out of it is to sort of go down the more From Software route. Do more fan art for Dark Souls characters, for Elden Ring, for Bloodborne, all those games, and I'm more than happy to do them because I genuinely enjoy those games and I love the art direction and everything. And I think when you're making fan art and stuff, it's like for a con, I think it's relatively important, but at the same time, I think you should do fan art you enjoy. You shouldn't just do, oh, Jujutsu Kaisen's popular, let me do fan art for Jujutsu Kaisen. Oh, this anime's like popping off, or it's trending right now. Because I feel like when you do that, you're not gonna truly give your heart into the art. That rhymed as well. Heart into the art. You're not really truly gonna put it, do what you enjoy doing. So, and I feel like that would show on the actual final piece. So I think doing fan art in terms of conventions is important. Just make sure you're doing it for fan art you enjoy, because even if it's niche, it will still sell. And yeah, my original stuff, unfortunately, despite I had so many lovely people complimenting it, it didn't. The original stuff just didn't sell, and it's okay. Like I'm not really too disheartened. I think with this kind of stuff, you need to not go in with too much expectations. I was just I was extremely nervous before the con because I guess before the con for the past few months, I haven't really been going out as much or speaking to people, or just my social life and everything has just gone completely shit. It's just barely going out, only drawing and playing games. Um, I gained a bit of weight and everything, and I've got pretty bad body dysmorphia stemming from fucking for years. It's something I've tackled all the time, or whatever. We have to deal with that. So I was just because I didn't feel like I was looking my best. That's kind of what was making me more nervous about the con. I didn't really care about the sales and everything. I was more I was more like nervous that I wasn't looking presentable or good enough, and that's more of a me thing. That's more in my own head. Once I got over that, once I managed to get up from a horrible, from barely sleeping, and go to the con, things sort of simmered down a bit. I started talking, and I felt like myself again. It was genuinely, really, it was such a good experience. Like the first day was amazing. The second day, the first day wasn't really even as packed, and I made more sales. The second day was so busy, and I didn't really make any sales. I think I only sold like one or two, which I mean, like after the first day, you kind of, because in my head I was expecting, oh, damn, I did well my first day. Second day must go much better, but it didn't really go any better, and it's fine. It's honestly fine. Um, I have another Comic Con coming up, which is it's only 55 quid for a table. It was like it's very local as well. It's only like a 20-minute drive from where I live, and it's only a 1 day con. So that sort of takes away the pressure off it as well. It's a cheap table, it takes away the pressure of, because the Anime League is a relatively big. It's not the biggest con in the UK, but it's a relatively big one compared to the others. It has events in all over the UK. You have them in London, Birmingham, Manchester, wherever you want to go. And for my first con, right, I think I really pushed out of my limits, because driving to Birmingham for your first con, and like Birmingham is a shithole. I'll be honest, Birmingham is not the nicest place to go to. But I didn't really. I kind of had the plan in my mind to explore it once I was done with the con. But I was like, fuck this, man. I'm just gonna chill in my room and just watch some Binding of Isaac videos or some shit. And it was a really good it was honestly really good. It sort of helped tackle a lot of my social anxiety that's built up. And like obviously I'm someone that has a bit of social anxiety here and there, but it got a lot worse in the past few months. So that con was almost like a breaking out of it, and it sort of helped me in other facets of my life as well. You know, brought me some confidence in many ways. And anything else about the con really? It was a nice it was a really nice con. I noticed that a lot of people were. I didn't really know that Five Nights at Freddy was that popular. The two tables next to me were really cool. I forgot their names, I'll be honest, but one was like a very dark, very like Tim Burton-y style. She had a very like uh, established style, and so did the other one. The Tim Burton-y one, she so much. She had like a card game that she was selling that apparently did like a really good turnover. She was selling T-shirts of her artwork on it as prints. Um, she was also she had like prints as well, and I did a lot of print for prints as well, which apparently is sort of frowned upon doing it, but why not? You know, why not? Why not get some nice prints to remember everyone I met there by? And that's what I mean. It's a good way to sort of make contacts and networking and all that bullshit that corporate people talk about, networking or whatever. But yeah, I just tried to enjoy it while I was there. I even had this like weird vibe towards the end, and it kind of brought me back to the days when I was at college, when you were just chilling and talking with your friends for hours. It sort of brought me back to that vibe that I haven't felt in a long time, you know. So that was really nice to sort of experience that again. And if you guys are planning on presenting your art at Comic Con, I would say just go for it. Don't overly prepare, and don't under prepare. Don't overthink it too much, because it's probably, if it's your first con, just do what you can. You don't have to make it perfect in any way. And don't be too disheartened if you don't make sales or you don't get people in your table or whatever. It's just part of the process, honestly. It really isn't that deep. But yeah, if you can make it a bit of a more local con to you, then make it, because well, if you have help, because I didn't have help at all. I did it pretty much just all by myself. Preparing the art, buying the art, repairing the car, driving there and back. I think in terms of expenses, it was easily like $1,000 at this, maybe like 800 to $1,000 that I had to spend on everything. And yeah, that kind of hurt a lot. It hurt a lot. I didn't think it would be that bad, honestly. I thought I'll just drive to Birmingham, chill in a hotel, and then go. But you know, you're somewhere where you're not really comfortable doing something that you've never done. I mean, it it's always good to sort of break out your comfort zone, and I feel like I definitely did that. And it's made sort of a lot of things easier. Has it helped with my art career yet? Not really. I mean, it's given me some confidence. I'm gonna do another con locally, and yeah, I don't really know what else to really say. I'm ill now, but I was a lot worse when so after the con I got a pretty bad cold as well, which was not exactly the best thing to have. It was a pretty bad cold, I'll be honest, for about a week, and I got better, but now I'm ill again it's 2 months after, so it's not the same illness, but yeah. And yeah, so that was pretty much my experience at Anime League Con Birmingham. I think it was the 16th to the 17th of February. Yes, and it was a great experience, and I want to thank Anime League for giving me the opportunity, which is honestly great. And hopefully I can Hopefully this will become a snowball effect onto my art career, and I can start making a living doing this thing that I've been trying to do for like 6 years. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. I don't really know what else I have to say. I pretty much said everything I can, and I hope you enjoy the story, and bye 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 bye.